Do you guys ever make it out to Japan in this year, this type of weather?
I know for a fact all of us haven't ever in any weather.
Yeah, I was just curious if someone would lie and say yes, I guess.
I was thinking about doing study abroad in a couple of years and maybe hitting up Korea or Taiwan possibly, or Japan.
What
It's
draws
just
you there?
Everybody goes to Japan and I don't want to be basic, you know?
Yeah, what draws you to Japan?
Not Japan.
I don't know. I
He's
guess I
too-
really like the nature there. Like, Hokkaido is very like cool in the winter. Parts of, I believe, parts of Western Japan are also very, very nice in fall and winter.
So you
They
just
get-
like the nature of it all?
Yes, yeah,
That's
the
cool.
nature is great. I'm not really a big city guy, I guess. At least not American cities, not really my thing. But the mountainous parts of Japan, which is everything outside the cities, I guess, are very nice.
Do you think you started liking Japan before you started watching anime, or do you think anime had a part in you appreciating Japan? Because I feel like that's a big reason why a lot of people are into Japan. It's they seem to always also like anime.
Well, he was saying that he didn't really want to be basic and go the Japan route, and he's probably going somewhere else.
Right. I guess I'm just more interested in why he was originally interested in Japan in the first place. You know.
Ah, fuck.
Okay, a lot of people say anime, but for me it was actually they did a Top Gear episode
me, it
in
was-
Japan. Huh?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
For me, what sort of made me start like thinking Japan was really cool was there was a Top Gear episode in Japan, and I can't for the life of me remember what cars they were reviewing, but I just remember like seeing Tokyo and Mount Fuji and being like, wow, that's a very, very large city. That's interesting. And then I just kind of like looked more into it. And I'm not going to lie to you, anime probably helped, but it wasn't like because I'm a massive weeb.
It sounds like it's because you're a massive weeb and because you jerk off to anime all day. I think
This guy in the jerk off, it feels like anything is brought up, he's like, yeah, you fuck with that, you jerk off to that all the fucking time.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I do that a lot. I just think it's jerking off is so funny. I don't know why. It's just so funny to me.
Yeah.
Well, you do you, King.
Thanks, man.
Another thing was, I don't know, I did a lot of martial arts as a kid as well, so that was kind of, that probably had an influence.
You still fucking with that now? Are you guys doing any competitions?
No, not yet. We're not ready yet. We have like an entire team of noobs basically, and we're still kind of figuring stuff out for the most part. But I mean, we can do some cool stuff. We can do like kip ups. We can do some interesting like
Tornado kicks?
flying kicks.
Like tornado kicks, for instance?
Yeah, perchance if it's a good day.
Yeah. So would you say you're pretty consistent with the tornado kick?
I mean, I'm getting better. It's one of those things I really need to work on, you know?
Yeah.
Is that the move you were trying on Clay in that parking lot?
I think that you guys aren't really adding context to this.
Okay,
This
add some
feels
context.
accusatory, but I can
I guess I would just prefer you to answer the question before we added context.
answer the question. Yes. So I was trying it, but it was not going well. I was like I was wearing clothing that made it very difficult to actually be flexible enough to get my leg up, and I was doing I was also kind of crescent kicking instead of doing a roundhouse. I wasn't able to rotate myself over enough on the way down to get my foot to hit properly.
Wow.
And honestly, half of that is a skill issue. Half of that is I was wearing jeans, and what really was not helping.
Alton, how do you remember this evening?
I remember Matt refusing a lot of loads that evening specifically. He was on kind of a load refuse run at that point. And I remember at first he was just full on refusing the load to kick Clay. And then it took some convincing, and he finally accepted the load. And so he started trying to kick Clay in a hurricane matter, I suppose. But I remember you just whiffing every single kick, and you were just not connecting. And I just remember him being right there, and just your foot just like sliding through him as if he were like a ghost. That's how I thought it went down.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Hey man, it's okay. You sound self-aware of what you did wrong, and I bet now you could kick the shit out of Clay.
And by did wrong, you mean having a fucking skill issue?
We'll get Matt in some like really high shorts, and then and then bring him back to the same parking lot.
Matt,
You guys are right. And you know what? We should record this for the next episode and put it on the pod. And I'm sure the viewers would love to see it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Oh wait, that brings my mind over to something. Hi, I'm Clay.
Hi, I'm Alton.
I'm not.
And this is Suck.
The podcast.
No loads refused.
Absolutely none.
So I got a hot and heavy
Matt
load for you.
Tries to rap.
What?
Yes. I seem to remember like refusing that exactly once in
So
the
you're saying
history
you
of this
wouldn't refuse
podcast.
it?
It wasn't even an episode that was uploaded. It's actually lost media for you.
Right.
Lost
I
media
guess
enthusiasts.
my question would be, if I asked you to rap right now and I laid you down a sick ass beat, would you rap?
Probably wouldn't. I just don't have the
Exactly.
technical skill.
You're in a constant state of refusing this load. It's exponential the more you refuse it, I guess is my point. But we don't have
Okay.
to, if you're refusing the load, you're refusing the load. We don't have to harp on it for a second time. I think it's disrespectful to the foundation of this podcast, but we've established that. So anyways,
Right.
what's going on with old Claytown?
All right, firstly, old Claytown thinks it's a new week and there's no need to keep coming back to this stinky old refused load over and over. But secondly,
I think I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt you, but I personally think it needs to be addressed. I think we should bring it up
every week.
once every couple podcasts just to make sure.
Yeah, that's where I was trying to take it, like remind you every
Right.
single week and get mad at you every single week. But I
Right.
see where you're coming from
Right.
too, Clay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so in old Claytown, it's going pretty nice actually. It's been raining for 5 consecutive days actually, and I left my jacket at home when I was there for the podcast last week, and I also left the card I used to pay for meals at home. So I had around $20 that I took to Safeway, which is one of the most expensive grocery stores, but is close to me. And I spent all of my money at Safeway, and I've only been able to eat $20 of food for around 10 days.
Wow, that's a situation, man.
Yeah.
What did you buy with that $20?
I bought. All right, now this is like a strategy for anyone who's ever like low on change. I bought 2 pounds of bananas to keep up my potassium, to keep up my vitamin C, just to start off. I bought raw oats and I bought raw rice. And I only really have a microwave to cook, so the raw rice is just sitting in the room. And then the final thing I bought was sticks of butter. So, in order to get like my calories in, I've had to resort to eating sticks of butter and oats.
God, dude. I love how you wasted your valuable money on rice you couldn't cook.
I just thought I could cook it. It seemed like a no-brainer.
You could microwave it and see
Yeah.
what happens.
No, but I've literally lost like 15 pounds since I got here, and it just keeps going down, bro.
Dude, are you okay?
I'm jacked as fuck. I'm shredded as fuck, and it's just tighter than it's ever been.
So you're on a cut right now.
You could call it that.
All right. Well, if you ever feel like not being on a cut and you feel like this cut might be dangerous, let me know and I can Venmo you some money to eat food.
Nah.
Nah.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been up to. I know you're vegan, so we're in like similar boats.
Yeah, you really hate that I'm vegan for my nutrients intake, huh?
No, I rock with it. Do you get all your nutrients?
No, but I never have. So it's like, what's the difference, you know?
That brings me back to our life skills project, where we were like gonna get married and go in a canoe in Mexico with multivitamins and oats.
Yeah, that was you and getting married, right?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Where's that guy?
Dude, he's romping around. I don't know. I feel like he's probably gonna get like married soon.
I've heard he's thriving.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's trying to work at the PCWA, which for the folks that don't know, that's the Placer Water Company, and you don't know what else is there. They're just about it.
Placer County Water Agency. Yes.
Nope.
It's
that's not it.
Oh shit! You're right.
Penis Cock Willie Association. So
Yeah. Clay nailed it.
your father works there, right, Matt?
Yes. He is the general manager.
Of the Penis Cock Willie Association.
One could say that.
So what is he managing exactly?
Well, I mean, it seems pretty self-explanatory, doesn't it?
Fuck.
That sucks, man. You guys hear about Matt Gaetz?
No, I haven't.
I did. But explain it to me.
So he's this pedophile, right? That's the baseline. Then he gets elected into office. That's the other baseline. Then he does some wild shit, right? Where he gets nominated for the general, what's it called? General attorney, is it?
Attorney General.
Yeah, that's it. That's why it didn't sound right. And so he gets nominated for that by my favorite President Trump, who's serving his third term right now. And he gets nominated, and then he drops out because he's just like taking a victory lap. So he drops out preemptively. But then he realizes that he does not have the support to actually like be nominated into the position after he meets with senators. So then he drops out of running to be the attorney general, and so now he's just left without a position in office, and he just kind of pranked himself, which I think is really funny.
Sounds like a typical politician.
Who's the new one?
Yeah, I don't think Trump's announced one yet. Fingers crossed it's Hulk Hogan though.
I heard there was another WWE lady who's now it's something related to education.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense.
She might be qualified.
Yeah, I mean WWE, like Department of Education.
It feels like you see this beautiful presidency through piss-colored glasses when you should be looking at it through rose-colored glasses.
No. I'm just like, I'm probably Trump's biggest fan, so I'm hypercritical of him to hold him accountable, because I don't want to surround the people with yes man.
Clay, how far is it from your college to your home?
I would call it 3 hours.
No,
3 hours.
It's not. That's just
The way I do it,
No.
it's 3 hours.
What roads
No,
do
that
you
seems
take,
true.
dude? No, that's actually wrong, because I could do that shit in an hour 45.
Yeah, that sucks. Okay, so interesting thing. So I have this car, right? It's beautiful. I got it for around $3,000. But the issue with getting it for that cheap is occasionally it has a little problem or two. And the current
bullet holes in the engine and stuff like that.
Sure. And the problem we're having is there are a couple just small, just like not really that important holes in the radiator. So the car can't actually cool itself when I get up to high speeds. So I'm rocking on the highway going down, going around 45 whole way. So that may explain the discrepancies in our...
Okay, that adds some more context. I didn't know you just couldn't go the speed limit.
I just rock it at 45.
Is it possible that if you order a new radiator, us on CHOCK could maybe get together to help you out?
The CHOCK radiator special.
Yeah, dude. Let's do that. So once we hit 100K subscribers and a fan Venmos me 10K personally, then we'll do the radiator special.
License plate leak.
The license plate and social security reveal at 10K.
You saw that Paul fight, right?
Yeah, dude. That was racist, right? That was racist. What happened?
I liked seeing Mike all big and...
Did you see that picture of his ass? When
Yeah.
he walked by, when he turned around and you could see his ass?
Favorite part.
That's the only part I watched.
We watched the girls fight before. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. They went insane.
Yeah, I heard that was the highlight of the night.
No, it was still Mike Tyson like getting fucked and dancing and making money.
Yeah, I mean, good for him, I guess. It's just a little depressing of a spectacle to watch a 58-year-old man get battered on a court like that.
I'm gonna be entirely real. I loved it. I loved every second. I love seeing Jake just fucking hit Mike in the head. I love seeing Mike like move away slightly and then get hit again. So I was actually a big fan of the whole debacle. Did you see that, Matt?
Yeah. No, I wasn't able to watch it live as I was in martial arts club at the time.
The highlights are great, bro.
I'll have to check it out.
There's so many highlights.
Did you hear that?
It was such a good night, man.
Now, this may have come to me in a dream. I'm not sure if this is true information. But did you hear that when he gets out of prison, what's his name?
Melly?
The bald guy, Andrew Tate, yes. Andrew Tate said he would be willing to fight Jake Paul.
I don't think Andrew Tate's in prison right now. So I would assume that was a lie that he said.
Well, I mean, it's possible that he knows he's going to prison, and if he isn't in prison, he is willing to fight Jake Paul.
I actually recently just heard that the judges found a lot of discrepancies between witnesses, and so it looks like he's just going to get out scot-free, which I think is a huge win for the Tate brothers, but more for women as a whole.
Can you expand on that? I'm not really picking up what you're putting down.
I could expand on that, but it's more of like a, if you know, you know. If you don't, you're sexist.
Okay, yeah, no. So say I'm in like the space between knowing and not knowing where like I could know, but like can you just expand on that a little more?
Right, but like that sort of sets a precedent. Like, does a black person have to explain racism to a white person every time they do a microaggression?
Thing is, I don't see color, so could you just like dive in?
I could try. I guess it's just like Andrew Tate believes in core values that I think women also get behind. And it's like, they don't want to drive. They don't want to decide what they do with their body.
This is coming from a white man like you.
What?
This is coming from a white man like you.
Yeah, who really just knows women so well. They're my friends. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't talk myself into a corner like that. What I said was wrong.
No.
Being sexist, even as a joke, it still has some traces of sexism, you know? So I'm sorry about what I just said. I take it back.
Hey, Matt.
I mean, to be fair, it's not really on you to try to educate Clay on things he
Right.
should already know.
As a woman, I shouldn't have to explain sexism to Clay, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, man, it's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, we all
Now
say
that-
things we shouldn't, but you're learning. You're
Right?
Right.
right. My whole thing is maybe they didn't realize that Alton was a stupid dolt when they hired me, and now they're like, God, how do we get rid of this idiot?
Last pod, you were talking about something going down at Target that they'd never forgive you for.
Yeah, no, I was in my head about that, but then something did go down that I fear my worker will never forgive me for, and I'll lose the respect of all the people I manage. There was this guy riding a bike around the back room, and so I said, please don't ride that bike around. Blur that, please, just for his own privacy.
Who?
Joe Schmo. He was riding around a bike. And Joe, he rides the bike, and he's about to ride it out into the sales floor where the vice president of operations has just touched down from his private plane and is now walking our store. And I was like, please do not ride a bike on the sales floor, especially today. And then I walk away, and I did not give him enough time to explain himself because I'm too busy trying to get the back room clean. And then I walk past him another time riding a bike, and I say, please do not ride any bikes right now, assuming that Joe could walk by at any moment and see that. And so then he says back, and then I realized, oh shit, you're just doing your job, because he was building bikes. And I did not realize that he was building bikes because I didn't realize we even build bikes. This was the first time I've even witnessed that. And so he then says, whatever, I guess I just won't do my fucking job, and then walks away. And then I'm like, I'm sorry, man, that's my bad. And then I go up to him again later, and I'm like, hey, I'm really sorry about that. But before I can even get the words out, he's just like, no, it's okay, and walks away. And he's like the personality hire of the store. Like, he's not good at his job, but we keep him around because he boosts morale, because he's kind of just a likable dude. And so he's friends with practically everyone in the store. So I assume he's just been shit talking me to everyone, and I'm now on outs with every single person in the store. And when I come in next, they'll just like shame me for the idiot I am.
This was the last time you were working?
Yeah.
Oh my god, bro. You're gonna get so fucking flamed. Do they still do
Right.
mobs?
What's that?
Like mobs where they just hit people?
Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen to me. But
It's
you know, I'll find another job.
Yeah.
One that doesn't require me to be likable or like a cool dude. One where I can just like yell at people and be like a gremlin, you know?
One thing I would just like to throw out there is please heal up by our next pod sesh.
What?
Just heal up after the beating before our next pod sesh.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. No, I'll be fine. I can 1v30.
Okay, word.
I mean, really, if you think it's going to be a problem, just don't go into work. I mean, the pod is more important.
Yeah,
Right.
might as well just quit before they fire me at that point.
I hear you have a lot of
Think of it this
vacations
way.
days.
We've already established that if the pod doesn't go anywhere, I'm going to be homeless and you're going to be dead. So, what happens if you lose your job? Will it be better or worse than being dead?
Yeah.
Think of it that way.
Yeah, I guess it's more of like, I'm not so worried I'm going to lose my job just because that's like a silly mistake. I have been making a lot of mistakes, and I do feel like I'm underperforming, but that's besides the point. I just feel really bad that like I probably made that guy's day a lot worse just because I yelled at him before I even thought it out and what the consequences of yelling at him would mean. And I feel like as a manager, that shows that I'm too willing to just immediately reprimand my employees instead of trying to analyze the situation and understand it first. So I think that's really something I need to work on.
Yeah, I see that a lot in our conversations. I always think like Alton's the one to reprimand, Alton's the one to bring down the vibe, and you know, it just carries over into your personal life, and I want you to know that.
Okay, thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of. I guess I'll just sit my white ass down and listen.
Just like constructive criticism, maybe just like start listening more, and just stop with the yap. Because I think
No, the yap is good. The yap keeps the podcast going.
no, he should not talk on the pod.
Well, I guess that's a difference in creative choices.
No. Actually, Matt, I think you and I can carry this right now. Go.
Well, okay.
I'll
Have
listen.
you seen any good films recently?
No.
I saw that there's this new Christmas movie that was going to be in theaters November 15th. It's already come out at the time of filming, but
Is it the live action remake of Christmas movies with like Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
yes, I believe that's the one. I actually don't know anything about it, so this is news to me, but I did hear that The Rock was in it.
It looks insane. I saw the trailer the other day, and I think it's gonna be awful. There's like living snowmen that look like. Yeah. Okay. So let's bring Alton back in.
Alton's back. let's not leave you two alone anymore.
Yeah. Just one large beep over that last half.
Yeah. Well, well, you know. But yeah, I mean, have you noticed that I'm sort of someone who's more reactive than thoughtful?
No, you're incredibly thoughtful. You're so insightful, and I don't know why I said that. I was just trying to air out my own personal grievances. I was projecting a little, and like, you're such a fucking beating heart of this organization. I just love it.
No. I'm actually just asking. I was not offended by what you said earlier.
You shouldn't be offended, and I was just making shit up, and I'm so sorry.
Dude, no, it's all good, man. I'm trying to get better at taking criticism with a positive attitude, you know.
It's crazy because in the years I've known you, there's never been a critique that stemmed organically from my heart. It's always been like, oh fuck, I should say this so that I don't look like I like him too much.
I gotta criticize him so I'm not glazing.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens. I think that's what most people like experience when they are around me.
Yeah, that's such a nasty phrase.
What?
Glazing.
Yeah, it really is like a donut in a way.
Yeah, so some people I don't really like its popularization because sometimes I like try to legitimately be nice and people accuse me of glazing.
See, that's why I like it, is because it's like ruined people being nice on the internet, because if anyone says anything like actually like nice and kind, it's just a sea of comments saying glazing.
Bro, stop doing tricks on it.
Yeah, that's another favorite of mine.
I like saying that whenever anyone does me a favor.
Also, as a gay person, I like the negative context of doing gay acts. I think that's productive and helpful to the culture, you know?
Yeah, I think it really moves people in the right direction.
Yeah, and
Right.
it keeps people in the closet in a positive way, you know?
Yeah. I think the Republican gays can really get behind that.
Yeah, and to all my fellow gay people watching behind the camera, never come out. Stay in that closet. No, everyone's gonna think you're weird if you're gay. It's not worth it.
Have you noticed like a shift in people you used to rock with after coming out?
I mean, yeah. As soon as it was kind of known, I immediately pivoted friend groups. So yeah, I'd say so.
Really?
Yeah,
What?
I mean, like I told that, and then
Oh.
I didn't really talk to and like ever since. I don't know if it was more of a me. I think more what happened was they had been homophobic like so blatantly in front of me for so long in my life that I just kind of gave up on them, and I didn't even like give them the chance of being accepting. So I just as soon as I realized I wanted to live like my truth, I just stopped talking to them and started like trying to befriend people that would actually be more accepting of my identity.
Word, dude.
That
Yeah.
makes sense, yeah.
Seems like it was easier to just stay in the closet.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what
yeah.
you were really bringing to the table here and trying to get
That's the
across.
lesson I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely did notice a big shift in attitudes after that happened.
That sucks.
It's
Well,
all good. Honestly, it was less like people didn't like me, and it was more like they were like walking on eggshells when they were talking to me because they didn't want to be like called out for being homophobic.
Oh,
which
word.
I thought most of the time was less harmful and more funny.
I mean, it's still not perfect. It still sucks a little, but that's part of the podcast, man.
Yeah, no, I like being alienated by my peers. I
Yeah,
think
that's
it's
part of the podcast, man.
It's part of suck.
Suck.
Yeah. That's sort of the dynamic we bring is like, I'm gay and you two are homophobic and hate me.
Yeah, no, I really like our tit for tat.
I think
feel
that
really.
I think that really suck has come to represent toxic masculinity in a good way. And I just love that because there aren't enough people out there who realize that sometimes being toxic is just a really, really good thing.
Yeah. So you read that same Forbes article that I read where they talked about how we're like kind of like bringing back toxic masculinity in a cool, refreshing way? Because I thought the journalist did a great job on that piece.
No, I haven't. Do you mind sending that to me after the pod?
Yeah,
I'll give it a read.
After the pod.
You don't even gotta send it to me. It's already in the favorites.
Yeah, I know you stay tapped into the culture like that. You're the only guy I know that still says the N-word.
Not true at all.
I mean, well, like in like a situation like this where other people will like hear you, yeah. Not true.
I have gotten into the habit of saying cracka a lot. Like what's up, my cracka?
Which is equally as bad.
Is it really? No, that can't be as bad.
Yeah, I think so. As a white person, I think I can say that too.
Yeah, no, I roll up to my roommates now, whom I hate. They can hear me if I talk too loud, so I'll keep it quiet. But I'm like, what up, my cracker? Because my other roommate, who I really hate, says, what up, son? Whenever he sees me, and I want to kill him and just strangle him. So
that is so annoying, actually.
Yeah, I've really taken to saying what up, cracker in response, but it's not as demeaning.
Yeah. Son's actually more offensive there.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
I really like Lil Bro as well, especially coming from people like smaller than I am.
It's insane. What's up, Alton?
Sorry, I did not mean to talk over you.
You good?
I thought you were done with that. I accidentally called Matt Little Bro. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason he started just hating that, because that's sort of when the vibe shifted. Is when I just ended that sentence with Lil Bro.
Oh no,
dude.
That's not. I hated it long before that because I remember my lab partner calling me that, even though he's shorter than I am. Like, I mean, I guess sure he probably like weighs more than I do, but like I'm taller, so I consider us to be like same level.
Word.
But yeah, it wasn't very pleasant. It sort of brought me back to my high school days in probably the worst way possible.
Can we go back to the thing for a little second? Because the vibe was dead that night, bro.
Right? Did I do something to impact that vibe negatively? Because I thought I was having a fun time with the boys.
I think so, because it's like he was talking about the Cybertruck. He was all jazzed as fuck. You brought up Lil Bro. He dies. He hates.
So that was the infraction point, right?
Yeah, it must have been.
Because it felt like he just realized he maybe thought that by me saying that it was no longer we're laughing together, we're just laughing at him.
Yeah.
I think that's really kind of the vibe he started picking up on.
That's something that has happened in the past with him, so I think he's touchy about it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So for the context for the listeners at home, we're all having fun. We're all making a experimental rap album that probably would have won a Grammy at least.
Yeah, we're all jazzing.
And just like great vibes, great time. Was acting a fool that day.
He was all right. Oh,
really? You think like within a minute of meeting us, he drops that N-word? You thought that was like all right?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I didn't. I wasn't sure what your thoughts were on that. And then we're like, so I already don't like him. Like I've already decided like this is not someone I want to spend time with in the future. But I'm still keeping it cordial, keeping it nice. And then we go to rap, right? And then we're all sitting around having a good time. And then I'm talking to him. I say something, and then I just end it with Lil Bro, and he just seems so taken aback. Like it just ruined his whole mood. And I feel bad. I didn't want to ruin the vibe for him, but like at the same time, like, what the fuck, man?
I mean, we were going different directions on the rap album too, so it could have been that. Like he was going more of like a joking vibe, and we were like dialed into our art.
Yeah, he just wasn't on the same level as us. It's like if you put like a Lil Pump in the room with a Michael Jackson.
Yeah, yeah. No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
She said, "I am the one."
Dude, Playboy Cardi, speaking of, Playboy Cardi just released a song on his Instagram Reels, and it's one of my least favorite songs I've heard from him. It's just so lifeless. But he pinned a comment that says "better than Michael Jackson" in all caps, which I just think is insane for him to pin that comment.
It must have been a joke because he's known for doing like funny, stupid things, right?
I think he's just like known for being so out there that everything he does is taken with a little less like seriousness than most people.
Because do you remember when he was all dressed up in black and like standing behind who was it? Like Aiden Ross or something? Did Aiden Ross do a stream with him?
Yeah. Yeah, Aiden Ross supposedly paid him like hundreds of thousands of dollars for him to just like stand in a room and like be almost non-responsive to Aiden throughout the whole stream. It was so awesome.
That's fascinating. I did not hear about this.
Should we get Aiden on the pod?
We could probably pull.
That's a brilliant mind. I'd love to like pick at, you know.
You could go tit for tat with him like it's gangbusters, man.
You think me and Aiden Ross are kind of like similar people?
I think you're actually like the same person, and it'd just be cool to see like it's like if I clone myself and start yapping, what would the
Like
combo be?
Like that Spider-Man meme, but the Spider-Men are actually really just like goats.
Yeah, but it's like only two of you, and you're just like really close together.
Yeah. Well, that hurts feelings.
I'd like to ask, have you guys seen the video of Aiden Ross Googling what a fascist is?
Yeah. It's pretty
Yeah. I thought it was
doesn't he call it weird, or doesn't he like pronounce it wrong too?
Yes, he does. I believe he does from memory.
Like, did he say fast kissed? How does he pronounce it wrong?
I believe he said something like that. My memory doesn't go that much into detail. I just remember watching it and it being like the funniest thing I had seen that week.
Yeah, he's a funny, quirky guy.
All right. What kind of music you guys been listening to lately? Because I know we talked about Playboy Cardi, but we could go more in depth.
Oh, dude, I'd love to share on that. What have I been listening to? Ooh, a lot of Phoebe Bridgers recently. She's one of those artists that like I forget that she exists until like fall wintertime hits, and then she just like slaps me right in the feels. And Clay's so committed to this bit, it's pissing me the fuck off. But anyways, I just think that her both albums she has, Stranger in the Alps and Punisher, are just like so like they're so well written, and the instrumentation's really impressive too, and it's just like a lot of like very personal songs about like relationships, and like I just think it's very beautiful music, you know.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I've personally never listened to Phoebe Bridgers.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't listen to, I guess, a lot of popular music. I listen to a lot of like old school stuff, I guess.
Yeah, see, I hate that, man. I hate that. That just feels pretentious. Like, I'm sure you believe that that's true.
Sorry guys, froze there for a second.
Welcome back, Clay.
Yeah, hey, what are you talking about?
To kill yourself and die. We're talking about music and what we've been listening to.
Sick.
Yeah. But yeah, no, back to what I was saying. I just think that it's pretentious to be like, yeah, I don't listen to popular music. Even when it's true, it just like, it makes me like side eye you a little bit.
That's understandable, except I like don't really know what to say because like I do listen to some older like 2000s pop every like once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
But honestly, I couldn't really tell you about the scene or anything like that, if that makes sense.
You know, you can be like really into one artist too, and maybe that prevents you from listening to a lot of like normal stuff.
That's true.
Using normal there is crazy. No, I think it's like it's just like I don't like the type of person that won't listen to a song because it's popular.
Oh, word.
Oh
yeah, it's like the people that like dismiss a song because it's a TikTok song. Like that just grinds my gears.
I do not do that. I do listen to quite a few of what people call like TikTok songs.
Oh, so you do listen to popular music. You're tapped in.
Well, not really. I mean, I listen to like a bit of black metal, but I listen to like black metal that true black metal fans, I guess, call people posers for listening to. Which
Yeah.
I suppose it's true. If you've only listened to like, I guess, Mayhem, then yeah, I mean, I guess you're a poser, but still, if you even like listen to the genre like a decent amount, then I wouldn't really consider you a poser.
Yeah, I just
Right.
think that that term is reductive, and it only exists because people are pretentious in the first place. So, because like you're only pretending to like a certain artist or like a certain genre of music because people pretend like they're better than others because they listen to that genre. So I just think that it's important to recognize that yes, pop music is more formulaic and less like experimental because it's appealing to a wider audience, but that doesn't make it inherently less valuable or important as a piece of music, you know? That's where I'm coming from at least.
I understand, and I agree with you. It's just not really my thing. Like occasionally, I'll listen to a pretty like popular song. Like I listen to a lot of, I guess, old school funk music. Masayoshi
Yeah.
Takanaka, for example, and
Any American funk bands you listen to?
um, not really as much. For American music, I mostly listen to like rock and metal, but I mostly listen to like British and German metal. But I guess American bands I mostly listen to like Van Halen, I guess. Just kind of more basic stuff like that.
Word.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Alan, I know you stay pretty tapped into the music culture. So what do you think? What do you think is a sign that someone has bad music taste?
See, I try to stay. I got called a music Nazi a lot.
Yeah,
And
no,
that's-
I can see it sometimes.
Which, what? Sorry, what?
I could see it back in the day.
Oh yeah, and they were completely spot on. That's why I was so insecure about it, is because I was pretentious, and I did think the fact that I listened to like more like experimental like underground artists made me cooler, and so I've been trying to fight against that. So to call someone's music taste bad just feels harmful. But if I were to try and like quantify it, I'd say maybe like somebody who like only listens to a certain niche and shits on everything else, whatever that may be. Like, say you only listen, like, okay, Swifties specifically piss me off because they are such a top. I mean, not all Swifties because it's such a large fan base, but there's like this culture where every piece of music she makes is gold, and they'll support her through everything. And they'll even try to like bring down other pop artists that they feel are like threatening her number one status, and they'll like attack other fan bases just for existing because Taylor Swift they think is better than them. So I think it's people like that will like be so stubborn and so closed-minded about the music they like and fail to recognize that other music is cool too.
So you think the only thing that really determines if you're having bad music taste is if you're shitting on people and thinking they have bad music taste?
Yeah, that, and I think like a lot of people that don't listen to a lot of music and don't spend the time to discover music they like might have bad music taste too.
So if I like if someone like listened to a lot of like the same artist and didn't really listen to anything else and just repeated that artist's songs over and over, would you just be you're like hating on them?
No, because you know what you like.
Well, like
and-
someone.
Okay, well, yeah, like hypothetically, yes, if that person were to like hate on other artists, like if that person were to say like all of Playboy Cardi's music is unlistenable, and like really have a strong disdain for that person when they refuse to really listen to a lot of trap music and really try and appreciate that genre.
What if they listen to a lot of trap but still hate a lot of what Playboy Cardi puts out?
Then that's fine. I just think as long as someone like gives it a fair chance, you know?
Word. Because he puts out some dog shit.
They have to have like valid criticisms of what they're criticizing. Like I think being critical of art is important, because that's part of liking art, is recognizing what you don't like about it too. But I think if you're like, oh, I don't like mumble crap because they're not being lyrical like the old people used to be, like that's just a dumb argument, because like there were people talking about dumb shit back in the day too, you know?
Word, actually.
Um, have have either of you ever listened to either Blade or Echo 2K or any of the sort of Drain Sphere?
I've listened to it.
Yeah, I keep trying to get into them. I like a couple Blade songs. I like a couple Echo 2K songs. I haven't really gotten into their music as a whole, but I will tell you the contribution that Blade made on the Brat remix album is one of my favorite features on that whole stack list of features.
I fuck so heavy with Young Lean that I have to fuck with all them.
You really fuck with Young Lean like that?
Yeah.
What's a good? I've been trying to get into Young Lean. What's a good like starting point?
I actually think you could even start with his collab album with Blade. It's called Psychos. It's pretty sick, actually.
You think that's a good like way to get introduced to his type of music?
If you want to get introduced to his type of music, just start with his popular stuff and then go deeper. I think once you listen to the popular stuff enough times, it'll get stuck in your head, and then you'll just want to dive in deeper.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to dive in deeper. It's just like, there's something about like the Blade and the Eco 2K where it's like a lot of it feels like you have to be in like a very certain like mental place to like enjoy it.
Really?
If that makes sense. I don't know. I've just like always
damn.
thought it's kind of like music. You have to feel like sexy, but also like you don't shower and you do a lot of drugs, but like you're still hot and you're from Europe. You have to feel like that.
Yeah.
To get that type of music.
Okay, I feel the exact opposite. I feel like it's just something you can throw on. You don't gotta think about it too much.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of music I struggle getting into, because I like the more like intricate, thoughtful stuff, you know?
I see. I'm inclined to agree with Clay here. I'm a big fan of Blade, but I actually really haven't listened to Young Lean, so I'll have to check out Psychos for sure.
Word.
Yeah.
What other sort of, I guess Blade isn't really hyperpop, but what sort of hyperpop have you been listening to, Alan? Because I know you're into that.
Oh yeah, I'd love to share that. Oh dude, have you listened to Underscores?
I have. The world of hyperpop is completely foreign to me.
Oh really? Okay, so it's kind of hard to say like what are you listening to in hyperpop now, because hyperpop's become a really interesting thing where it's like it still kind of exists, but the genre is almost like dead, so it's all sprouting out into different stuff. But right now, people that are like really good in that like genre, I'd say like 100 Gex is still making great music. And then Underscores is an up and comer to that, like kind of loosely that genre. And she makes a lot of like very like forward thinking music that has it. It seems like sometimes she gets lost in like trying to make a like super heady conceptual album, and that sometimes gets in the way of her making good music. But when she's just trying to make a good song, it's awesome stuff. And I'd also say Jane Remover. Jane Remover and Frost Children. The Jane Remover remix to Shake It Like A by Frost Children featuring Danny Brown is just like some of the most interesting, like cool sounding hyperpop I've ever heard in my life, and I'm just so obsessed with that song right now.
Hyperpop's like dance, right?
What's that?
Hyperpop's like dance?
No, hyperpop's like an exaggerated form of pop music that plays on all of its stereotypes. So it's like super heavy bass, super catchy hooks, and like super auto-tune vocals.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So would you say what happened to hyperpop is kind of similar to what happened to vaporwave, if you're familiar with that genre?
Yeah, actually, I'd say it's really similar, because I think it's like similar things happened where it's like the artists that created the genre moved on to different genres, and so that kind of made the genre teeter out and kind of sprout into different things. Because like Charlie XCX kind of heralded as like the creator of hyperpop and like 100 Gex and stuff like that, and then Charlie XCX specifically kind of like disowned that whole genre and like tried to make music that didn't fit into that same mold. And I think that's a big contributing factor to why it didn't like have the longevity that some genres do.
I see. I see. I seem to recall a very prominent vaporwave artist back in the day, Architecture in Tokyo. They actually started a new project. I can't remember the name right now, but it's like sort of like Detroit techno, like Chicago house, that sort of sphere, like very old school roots of EDM type stuff. And I checked it out, and I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, yeah. Clay, do you have? I'm sorry we talked about something you're not as like into talking about, but do you have any like anything you want to get out there?
Yeah. Actually, I don't have anything I'd care to share or learn.
Oh, great. Okay, awesome.
This is a perfect ending point, I think.
I guess so. Yeah, Clay, I hate your guts. Matt, you're my favorite.